I have a story for you about something that happened just yesterday, just about a little over 24 hours ago. How my EDC items came to play, helped, and how I found a flaw in my EDC system. All right, yesterday, my wife and my two boys, they're almost 2 and 4. We go for a ride. It's a long ride because, as I've mentioned many times, I kind of live really in the middle of nowhere, so to really do anything requires it's a ride. We go to get my boys' haircut. We only up getting one of them their haircut because the other, I didn't want to deal with it. He doesn't like getting his haircut. On the way back, we're driving on the highway. It's called 290, goes through the city of Worcester. That's where we were, in the city of Worcester. We are approaching the ramp to take 190, and it breaks off when 290 continues. There's cars everywhere. It's kind of congested. I'm watching the cars up ahead because as soon as I notice this Audi go by, a very nice, expensive Audi go by, he's kind of going in and out of cars. But right in front of him, an accident happens. Not because of him. And I don't believe that because I didn't see I believe it was a Chevy Envoy, flipping. I did see cars stopping, swerving, and I saw this bumper cover, a black bumper, go sliding across the road, and the Audi boom went over that. So I don't believe they were in, he didn't cause the accident, and I didn't really see the accident. I was watching that Audi because I was thinking that I was going to cause an accident. But I honestly don't believe he caused this particular accident. Right when that happens, I see cars pulling over. I still don't see the upside down truck. My exit's there. I start breaking off. I was already heading for the exit anyway, but all of a sudden cars are all stopping to look. As I'm coming up, I'm going by, and I'm kind of glad I did, but one thing I never ever do when I'm going by an accident is look at the accident. I don't do that, ever. Honestly, ever. I don't look. Not where I'm watching the roads. I don't want to hit somebody and create another accident. Well, I did this time. More so because we were literally coming to a stop on the ramp. And I looked and I see the truck on its roof. I had planned on just going because when I saw that, there was a bunch of people. I'm talking like a dozen people just getting to the car. And I'm thinking, well, what am I going to do? I first thought, what am I going to do? Because I really do believe that too many people there can be a problem. So, but then I realized that I have stuff that may be needed, right? I have my VanQuest Mobius. This is the new one. I actually have a video coming of that. But because of Wild Hedgehog Tactical and Gideon Tactical, because of them, I have quite a very nice, extensive first aid kit, IFAC, trauma kit. There's some serious good stuff in here because of those two companies, Gideon Tactical as well as Wild Hedgehog. They're supporters of my channel. Because of items I've reviewed for them recently, I then created this, and this goes everywhere with me. When I say that I have an ED system and I take it everywhere I go, I'm dead serious. It goes everywhere. And yes, I carry this every day, everywhere I go. Right inside this from VanQuest. So I was going to go, and then I realized again, I apologize to repeat myself, but I realized I have stuff, right? I pull over, and where I parked was safe. Nobody's going to hit us. I went up onto the grass. My Subaru really likes that stuff. I go up on the grass. I'm kind of between two cars, a little protected, and I look at I got to go. I have to go. I have to help. And she's like, oh, okay. I said, stay here. I get out, I go across the grass, I look, now everybody stopped. There's no cars moving. And now there's about a dozen people around this car. The problem is, there's a couple problems. It's on its roof, but none of the windows broke out. But if you look in, the driver's side window broke out because that side of the roof was crushed down. But the passenger side roof, the window was complete and not blown out. You couldn't see inside the car. It looked like a storage closet. There was just stuff everywhere inside the car. There were blankets and pillows and curtains and sheets up against the glass. I mean, it looked like somebody, was living in an upside down car, honestly. I kind of come up, I look at everybody, who's got what, who's doing what, and, am I needed, but and someone says, and I said to someone, do you know who's in the car? And they said, we don't know. And you can't, there's no sound coming from inside the car, and it looked like a yard sale, a storage closet inside this car. I look down at the door, and there is a military guy, full uniform, with something around his, and he's punching the glass, kind of uppercutting, because he's on his knees. It's not breaking. And never mind the fact he was hitting the middle of the window. They don't break like that. Slamming it. I mean, and then somebody, I believe, stopped him, and he got up, and I don't know where he went. Just as I stepped up to kind of look down, I want to see if I can see in, and I can't, and there's another gentleman next to me in a full suit, and he said, we have to find out who's in there, It was kind of, I'm thinking like children, are there children in there? Anyway, so we kind of go back, we're trying to open up the tailgate, it won't open, the doors won't open. And then we go back, when we came back around the car, we go back to the drive, because the glass broke on the driver's side, but the window was crushed down to about that. Still can't see anybody in there, said someone on the ground. We came back around the other side, and somebody came two cement trowels, like the triangle, the ones you build like a brick wall with, and he's hitting it, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna work, and he's hitting the middle of the window, and I'm telling him, that's not gonna work, and I said, we need a crowbar, we need a hammer, and I said a tire iron. Just as I said tire iron, somebody was handing me a tire iron. Oh, okay. The guy that I was standing with grabs a tire iron, he starts wailing, he gets on his knees, starts wailing the glass, again in the middle of the glass. And I yelled, in the corner, and he hits the middle, he did it like maybe 3 or 4 times. I'm like, in the corner, around the edge of the glass in the corner. He tapped it once, it breaks. Easy peasy, done. He throws the iron down. I remember just kicking it out of the way. We're both on our knees. Now we just stop pulling stuff out. Gently, but we're pulling stuff. I'm sheets, blankets, curtains. I pulled out multiple pairs of scissors. What the scissors are doing in there. Got those out of there. And now we see a woman, because we cleared out the front passenger area. We see a woman upside down, out cold, a lot of blood. There was a huge gash on the side of her head facing us, hair hanging. I mean, she was in bad shape, and she's out. We're pulling stuff out, moving glass. That's when I realized I'm kind of nailing on glass, and I noticed that there was a floor mat from her car that we had pulled, and I kind of grabbed that, and I'm kneeling on that. Before I realize it, the guy that was sort of with me is going in, and I'm kind of helping him to not cut his back or his stomach on the glass and stuff. And I pulled another pair of scissors. He almost impaled himself in the thigh with. And he's in there, and I guess he's trying to undo her seat, and he's like, I can't get her belt undone. And of course, out comes the Ganzo. The Ganzo. I just reviewed this knife. I told you it is sharp. It's a workhorse. I'm telling you, it is such a good knife. When he said, I need something, I looked, and everybody's just, and I kind of, pulled out my knife. I said, it's open. Now, I'm kind of like in the car a little bit from maybe midsection up. And I said, it's open. I hand it to him like the way you should hand the knife. And he cuts it. Now this, after he cuts it, she doesn't fall. There really wasn't far to fall because remember the roof on her side had collapsed. He just throws it into the car and I'm like, my knife. But remember, these are really cheap. You can get this with my coupon code from my video for $12 and I got it free. But I'm thinking to myself, if I get it, good. If I don't get it, not a big deal. Imagine if I had a really expensive knife. I'd be like, get her out of the way. I want my knife. Ganzo, great knife. He hit, you know, I as I said, I'm trying to just kind of assist him. And I saw my knife laying there. It was open and I grabbed it. I looked, it was clean and I took it and that was it. I shoved it in my pocket and I put it back in the designated knife pocket in my pants after. But and I was really impressed the number of people that came to help. I really kind of have this crappy attitude about this state, and I still do feel crappy about this state. But I felt a little warm inside knowing that when it gets bad, everybody is there. I mean, people come from, I mean, everybody was, and again, there were some people, there were a lot of, I didn't see them because I was really concentrated on what we're doing, and my wife told me that there was a bunch of people standing there with cell phones, videotaping and shooting photos, and you know, that kind of sucks, but I can honestly tell you there were a lot of people there helping. Now, I jumped the gun a little bit. When I pulled over, the only thing I was thinking was, I have, again, because of my sponsors on my channel, I have a good kit. I have some serious blood clogging, ACE bandages, Israel bandage. I have tourniquets, not 2, but 3 different tourniquets. Well, 2 the same, and I have 3 in all. 1 in my bag and 2 in my kit. You know, I have stuff. And that was my first intent. I just wanted to go over and say, what do you need, you know? I didn't realize that I was going to, and I say this loosely, take the role of getting in the car and assessing the situation. At that point, my kit wasn't even thought of, wasn't even used. Because I also understand that we really shouldn't move her. Now, after we got in the car, people were handing us blankets and pillows and curtains. Maybe she was moving, I don't know. That fell out of her car because they had broke out all the windows to see if people were in the back seat, and there wasn't. She was all alone in the car. And so they were handing it to me, and I was kind of laying it inside under him. I put it on top of the glass where I was kneeling on. And so, I mean, people were really, I was really happy to know people were there and everybody was helping. He cut her seatbelt, no problem, like butter. And she really didn't kind of fall. She just kind of like slouched down. He laid her flat as best as possible. I think he said her foot was stuck underneath the dash. And we just kind of laid her there. At this point, there's state troopers everywhere because they're not very far away, the local barracks near that area. State troopers anyway. There's one behind me kind of watching me or assisting me, and there were several that I noticed behind him now moving cars and getting people out of the way. One thing I wish I did before I get out of the car, I wish I took my handgun out. It was in my my waistband. I wish I took it out, you know, the sheath holster and all, and stuck it in my glove box. I wish I'd done that because twice while we were doing that, my shirt came up and the gun was exposed. Nobody said anything. I guess I'm lucky for that because remember I live in a very anti-gun state, and the trooper behind me, one of the times when I kind of reached down my gun, the butt was exposed, and I just kind of pulled my shirt over, and he didn't say nothing. And I guess in that situation he won't make that big of a deal out of it, right? I guess I wish I removed this and left it in my car, in the glove box or somewhere. The other thing. Luckily, we didn't have this. This was on point. great. Didn't really need it. And we didn't need it because after we got her down, laid her down, the state trooper said, just hold her neck, don't move her neck. Right at that point, fire trucks and paramedics were pulling up. I mean, they were there fast. You know, lots of respect to all of them, and I always will and do and will always will. Always will. I kind of got out and you know, the knife, great. I was so surprised by how many people didn't have something on them. And it's kind of funny because when he said, I need something shot, I think when he was going in, I said, if you need a knife, let me know. Because he said, I'm going to undo her belt. And I said, if you need a knife, let me know. You know, but then when he said, I need a knife or something to that effect, I kind of looked at people and nobody's, and I realized, I have one. Ganzo folding knife came through beautifully. The kit would have been used, and I got some good stuff again. One big thing, I failed as a reviewer, as a EDC guy, as a guy that seriously does carry everywhere I go. I don't have, and I'm getting one now, is a window punch. There's a dozen of them out there, if not more. There's the hammers. There's the ones you put against the glass. It pops and the glass breaks. You know, I must have done about 2 hours of research. And I know of them, and I had planned on quite a few years ago getting one and putting one in each of my cars. And I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball. I can tell you now that my wife and I will both have one, if not two, in our cars. I will have one in my car and in my bag. My wife will have one in her car and her bag. So I failed in that sense. I should have had something to pop the window. I failed all the other bases covered. I feel that my breaking windows knowledge, the stuff that I know, I mean, I didn't forget. You know, I'm proud of and I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying that I'm proud that I stopped and that I helped. Again, my role changed. I was just going to stop and offer my kit. Here you go. You know, this is what it's for. So when I tell you that, you know, look, this is the life I live. This is what I do. You know, it's just not talk. I'm not just talking and reviewing stuff and pretending. I mean, I'm dead serious. If something goes down, you can count me in. I'm not a runner. I'm telling you, I'm not a runner. That's good or bad, but I don't run, and I stand there. And when this, you know what, hits the fan, I stand there, and I'm going to do this with you. Take it on. And what's mine is yours. You need it? Let's go. Let's do this, you know? Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I did well, but I failed. I failed when it came to punching that window with some device or a hammer, and that is going to change. All right? Be well, everybody. If you have a story of your own, or if you have anything you can recommend, anything, write it down below. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I make mistakes. But I'm there. I want to learn and whatever. Write something down below, everybody. Please be well. Stay safe. I have a lot of stuff coming. I just need some nice weather so I can get out of the studio and do reviews outside. Okay? Bye.